Hello, welcome back to WINFXTRADING YouTube channel, the only channel that has been optimized to make you rich trading the forex synthetic market. In today's video, I'm gonna show you something that will make you succeed as a trader. If this is your first time of visiting this YouTube channel, do your best to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you get notified each time I upload a new content. Right now, the topic we shall be discussing is inequality applied to Deriv forex synthetic market. Take for instance, we have a price function f of p/t. Okay, now this is equals to a bounded range. So we are not going to use equality sign. So we are not going to say inequality. Okay, inequality to some ranges. Okay, to some ranges. So for some ranges, this price function is 2. So we now have price 1 inequality price 2 at time 1 inequality time 2. Okay, so we have a typical market. I'm going to do illustration right here. So we have a typical uptrending market in 2 dimensions. So let's take this to be in 3 dimensions with error as the third axis. So we have the p axis, then we have the time axis, and then they should be perpendicular to each other, and so we have this. They should be perpendicular to each other. So we have this, and then we have this. Okay, this is the error axis. Okay, the error axis controls the market and determine if you make profit or not. Then this is the price axis. This is the price axis, and this is the time axis. Okay, so if we define price, if we define a surface which is f of p/e/t, that becomes a surface. Then this surface is going to be valid, or is going to exist. Is going to exist in a restricted bounded conditions, that is inequality. Okay, so I'm going to update this and make sure we have e here as third variable. Okay, so when we say that for some error, because we have to fix the error first, but error is a variable. So for some ranges of error, let's say E1 inequality IN, that is INE inequality INE. Inequality means INE, and then E inequality E1, E2. Okay, so I'm supposed to put this here, E1 inequality E. Okay, and then inequality E2. Now when we have some ranges of error and then some interval of time, we allow price to be restricted based on those constraints, and so the surface will be active maybe at this session. The surface will just be active at this session. Okay, meaning that if we are looking for an opportunity, when we let the error approaches 0, so the value of error goes towards the origin, you see that the price tends to activate itself along this axis. Okay, as time progresses to the future. But then the price function cannot take all the values. It's still bounded. So when we study this in 3 dimension, because of error, presence of error, it becomes so complicated. So by the time we allow error to become negligible, it will be more easy. So to make this thing more understandable, I'm going to eliminate the errors, but the error always exists in the market. But I'm going to assume that the error is 0, and when I assume that the error is 0, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have this, then I'm going to have this. You can see it is more easier to visualize inequality in the market based on 2 dimensions. So this is the origin, this is the time axis, this is the price axis. The price is always greater than 0. Okay, price is always greater than 0, and time can range between T1 less than not less than, just inequality, INE, inequality T, inequality T2. Okay, so when you have this, the price and the time, and then the origin. Okay, and then the line of best fit that modeled the price movement just point like this. This is the line of best fit. So we can now say that this is an uptrend market. Okay, now when you consider this as a inequality trader, when you consider this, we can say that, let us shade this session. Let us shade this session. When we shade that session, when we shade it like this, it means that this session is unshaded. This session that I represented with the ellipse is unshaded. Okay, this shows that if we map prices, the prices will just terminate on this trend line. It will not go beyond it. What it's trying to tell you that we don't need to extend the price after this line, because when you extend it, it will intersect with this ellipse. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is the application of inequality in the Forex chart. So this is the origin, and this is the time, and this is the price axis. Okay, in uptrending market, we are going to say that when we map this time here, T1, and then map another time here, we map another time here, T2. Okay, T2. We can equally map the price, which is P1, and then the price again, which is P2. Okay, this is P2. Okay, now this geometrical representation is trying to tell you that for all prices above this line of symmetry, you can take a time for all prices above this line of symmetry. What it's trying to tell you is, for price, for P1, for P1 greater than P or equals to P. Okay, greater than or equals to P2, buy. You are going to buy. Okay, but once you started seeing prices that are active outside this session, we are not going to buy because it's no longer representing the boundary condition of the inequality. This is a complicated stuff, but I'm going to make it more easier as I go to the particular application. So let's take, for instance, a downtrend market, and we have a price as this, we have the origin and then the buying as this. Take, for instance, this is a downtrend market, so we are going to model it with this type of line of best fit. Okay, so since the market is going downwards, our price function is going to be in form of f is less than not necessarily 0, but some ranges are, okay, because price cannot be less than 0, but f is less than r, okay, and this r is range of values at certain interval of time. Okay, so here we are going to have this, we are going to have this time t1, and we are going to have this time t2. Okay, we are going to have this time t2. Okay, and then we are going to have the price p2, and we are going to have the price p1. So for any price between p1 and p2, we are going to take SL. But once the market leaves p1 and p2, we are not going to take SL based on what inequality is trying to tell you. Okay, that's what inequality is trying to teach here. So you will now notice that for a downtrending market, we can have something like this, that the market is pointing like this, and then we cannot say that P1 is less than P is less than P2. For time T1 to T2, okay, which can be represented as T1 less than T less than T2, or equals to T1 less than or equal to T less than or equal to T2. So when you are trading, always pay attention of this concept of inequality. I'm going to go to a practical application of this. Okay, right now this is volatility 51s index, right? First of all, you get your line of cement, the line of best fit. Okay, how do you get the line of best fit? You look at how the market is swinging. So this market is currently making lower highs and lower lows, right? So it should be a downward line of best fit. So you make sure that this line goes to the symmetry of the price plane, okay, the price surface. So it's actually, you have to do this by considering that the errors above and below are the same, or the offset above and below are actually the same. Like this line should be a line of symmetry. Okay, now when you draw this line, okay, when you get this line of symmetry, that shows that the price is going to revolve about this line. Okay, but every price for all price, let's assume that the equation of this line is f of t with time. Okay, so now Okay, so if every price above this line is not going to be reasonable again, okay, so we are going to cancel this, and we are going to say if is F is above, if P is above F, is greater than F, okay, don't sell. That's what it's trying to tell you, don't sell. Because the general belief or idea is that for this market to sell, it should particularly trade below this line. It should always, the price should always remain below this line. Anytime the price remains above this line of symmetry, the sell does not hold again. So this is not a guarantee that if you follow this principle, you are going to be making profit all the time. Or this is not a financial advice, but this is an intuitive knowledge you should have as a trader. And it becomes more reasonable if you draw a perfect trend line, okay, without considering line of base fit, and you draw a perfect trend line. When you draw a perfect trend line whose error is 100%, whose error is 0%, that is the error of the trend line is 0%, meaning that you actually do an accurate trend line. Okay, because when you compare this trend line with maybe this trend line, you see it does not actually represent the full information of the price movement, and so it has some error, meaning that this trend line actually have error more than 0%. That means it have error than this trend line. Okay, so when you draw a zero error trend line, a trend line that doesn't have an error, you will now understand the power of inequality. So when we have a price function f of p/time, we can now say that for f we have f of p/time as a general price function. Actually, this is the equation of this line. Now, if price is greater than this f, you should not sell. So for all prices outside this shaded region, if we trade this region, all the prices trading outside this, within this shaded region, is not going to be traded. It's not going to be traded as a sell. But all the prices trading within this session, I'm going to use all the prices trading within this session are going to be taken as a valid sell price. Okay, they're going to be taken as a valid sell price. That's why as price approaches this trend line, they get sell, because they don't want to go to this screen session, because this screen session has a different inequality. It's trying to tell you that this screen session is trying to tell you that if price is greater than f, don't sell. That's what it's trying to tell you, because it's trading against the trend line. Okay, and now what this spread is trying to tell you is if price is less than f, then sell. Okay, so I will end this video. If you have been using money trading you feel like you want to become successful and you feel like you don't know what you're doing again as a trader, make sure you subscribe to our 𝑽𝑵𝑏𝒈 channel and go for our courses and mentorship, so that you go far in this kind of industry. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to days, but a lot of traders actually watch a lot of videos and still lose money. So think about this and know what to do about it by leveraging the effort of our services. Bye for now.